compassionate systems change in education, for people who haven't had a kind of an introduction to our work, it seems usually pretty opaque. What does that mean? Some people get a little intrigued by it, and mostly it's just, it doesn't connect to any kind of meaning making for most people. So, and I, for many, many years, when people asked me what I was doing, I would tell them, come to a workshop and then we can have a conversation, because it's really hard to explain the experience of the work. And part of it is, I say sometimes, try to explain what it feels like sleeping to somebody who's never tried to sleep, or try to explain what it feels like being hungry if you've never had the experience. It's if we don't have an embodied sense of it, it can be a little hard. But overall, the idea is that the structures in place, the kind of root of systems thinking and systems understanding is that structure shapes behavior. And the structures of education are shaping the outcomes that we're seeing today. And those are outcomes that nobody really wants, of kids being disconnected and a kind of a decline in learning and understanding, and not a lot of critical thinking, and teachers being burned out, and schools, generally speaking, in most countries being kind of scapegoats, or places where we place responsibility for the well-being of our kids and so on, and it's not working very well. People are under tremendous pressure in the systems of education. We really see ourselves as allies with the educators, but there are also tasks with a lot of things that they were never really trained to have to deal with, like trauma and the declining mental health and well-being of the children and so on. So for compassionate systems change to happen, it's essential that we have the system in the room. And that means the children in the classroom, and the teachers that surround them, and the people that do, after-school activities, like out-of-school activities, and the principals and the leaderships and so on, and the parents, of course. And that's basically, ideally, you get the system in the room, and then you work with these tools and strategies for compassionate systems change, which basically has components of inner work, of kind of a reorientation to who am I, how is my life becoming more meaningful, what's my sense of purpose, how can I regulate my own emotions, how can I come to understand how I'm responding in different situations, and how can I show up relationally, be in exchange with people in a way that I have intentions about how I want to be in those relationships, and cultivate my capacities for, my social skills and my relational competencies and so on. And then how in return does that influence and impact the structure of the system that we're in, and in this case, of course, education. What does the classroom need to look like if we think and feel this way? What is the school? How would we like the school to feel as we come into it? What would we like as outcomes for the kids and for the educators and the experience of the parents? And what is all that, the kind of the vision for how we would like to grow our kids in a healthy way? That's basically at the heart of what compassionate systems is in education. And the whole process needs to be a process of change, because if we take at face value that structure shapes behavior, the structure of education is designed to produce exactly the outcomes that it's producing right now. And there's increased suffering coming out of that in so many different ways. And so we need to redesign the structure.